Mike Tyson's uppercut is one of the nastiest punches in boxing history. However, the uppercut might not even be considered his best punch. Of Mike Tyson's 50 professional wins, only 5 of them were by decision. So of the many stoppages and KOs Tyson scored, it wasn't until his 15th pro fight against Mark Young where he scored his first uppercut knockout. The majority of the first round KOs before that were from a left hook, or started from a left hook. So it's possible to consider the left hook as Mike Tyson's best punch. However, Mike Tyson's left hook could be created into a whole nother video. So this one's going to be about the uppercut because few people in boxing history could be as destructive as him with this punch. However, the uppercut is a less commonly seen punch because it's most effective if used from a less common position fighters find themselves in, which is up close, unless you're Juan Manuel Marquez. Not only that, but once you are up close, you have to position yourself to line up the uppercut, and Mike Tyson was fantastic at doing this. It also helps that Mike Tyson's build in the heavyweight division was designed to be effective with the uppercut. Being on the shorter side, Tyson could sneak in this devastating punch from right under his taller opponent's noses once he worked his way into position. So we take a look back to Mike Tyson's first KO from an uppercut against Mark Young. As you see, both guys come in, Tyson counters him, and as you see as they engage, we're going to see that Tyson jabs and feints the right hand when he sees Young try to roll under it. Young is now out of position and free to be hit in this position, but Tyson can't exactly land a monster uppercut from here, so what is he going to do? So we see Tyson hops to the outside of Young's shoulder, positioning himself to line up a punch up the middle, and this actually serves two purposes. Not only does it allow him to set up his own punch, but it also gets him out of Mark Young's line of fire. And from there we see the short uppercut that sends Young comically flying across the ring like he's playing Super Smash Bros. And so I want to add that it goes without saying that boxing is about landing your punches, and in order to land your punches, you will need to either get yourself into position to land, or get your opponent out of position so they could be hit, and Mike Tyson does both here. As you see here, Tyson's jab to right hand feint gets Young out of position, but Tyson takes it a step further and steps into an even better position before throwing, resulting in a devastating KO. As you can see, Mike Tyson was an extremely strategic fighter who was one of the best at getting into position to land his punches and land devastating counters, and one of the best examples of his excellent counterpunching on display was his fight against Michael Johnson. No, not that Michael Johnson, this Michael Johnson. So right away at the start of the fight, you see Mike Tyson come out. He gives Michael Johnson one feint and immediately starts teeing off on him after seeing how he reacted to that feint. And now with Johnson on the retreat, we're going to see how Mike Tyson displays his excellent skills as a counter-punching pressure fighter. And so it's common knowledge in boxing that the best punch to keep a pressure fighter off of you is the jab. However, Mike Tyson as a counter-punching pressure fighter already knows this, and he counters his opponent's jabs to deter them from using it. This will allow him to get onto the inside so he can continue teeing off on his poor opponents. So once again, as we see Michael Johnson retreat, we're going to see him try to shoot this jab, and we see that Tyson actually counters this jab by slipping to the outside of the jab and shooting his own jab at the same time. However, you see it doesn't exactly land because Johnson is actually moving his head as he shoots this jab, so it's a very intelligent jab from Johnson. So what is Tyson going to do in order to actually get onto the inside? What is he going to do to counter this? Tyson slips his head to protect himself from a straight right after the jab. Since that straight right didn't come, Tyson is now slightly out of position and is able to be hit. Since Tyson could smell the fear in Michael Johnson, he squares himself up with Johnson to get back into position to land a big uppercut up the middle. He knows Johnson wouldn't dare to trade with him. And there you see Tyson's nasty uppercut lined up right up the middle. The uppercut also tended to be one of Tyson's best weapons when he's being pressured himself. Notice here how when his opponent's being pressed up against him, you notice Tyson steps over to the outside as he punches, you see how his opponent punches with the right hand, tries to throw an uppercut to Tyson's body, but he times that by stepping over out to the outside of his right hand and then landing a right uppercut right up the middle. And of course, you can't talk about Mike Tyson's uppercut without talking about one of his signature moves, the right body hook to uppercut combination. No fighter in history ever threw this bomb the way he did. All the torque, the speed, the slap. Every time I see him land this, I just wiggle with excitement. The thing is, if Mike Tyson is hunting you around the ring, you might find yourself cornered with nowhere to go. A lot of victims end up covering up in front of him, and this is the absolute worst thing you could do. Tyson would shoot this right hook around the flanks, and this hook serves to make his opponents open their guard a bit to guard their body. And this creates an opening up the middle, which allows Tyson to uppercut their soul out of their body. Did you guys miss me? Well, I'm back, refreshed, and ready to start uploading often again. So if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you all for watching.